Have you ever noticed that time sometimes runs very fast? It's like you blink and the weekend or vacation is over. Then you get a little distracted and you're an adult already. And who knows how that happened? Calm down. We found a way to track time. You just need to look around. So come on, subscribe to our channel and let's go. Animals have their own habits too. If a dog is used to looking out the window while you're driving, nothing can stop it, even the cost of your car paint. If you imagine a battle between a wall and a plastic card, who will win? You'd probably say we have strange fantasies. Well, you're wrong, because the right answer is, well, you can see it now. That's what the face of the man who's driven this truck for 28 years looks like. Maybe you thought, come on, did he drive in the same direction all the time? No, friends, that's not how it works. Both these bears were bought in 1985, but one of them was a favorite toy for 30 years. The other had been waiting for his time. Yeah, now guess which is which. Would you like a really creepy hello from the past? In the Washington subway on Union Station, you can find prints of people. It seems as if they stayed here after a nuclear explosion when their owners were just blown in seconds. Okay, actually it's just an ordinary trace of human fat, dirt, and other nonsense, but it is creepy. Well, what can we say about that? Just one thing. New York used to be a lot dirtier than it is now. Yeah, it's a lot of years of coal dust. It's rather convenient. You wash it and there's no need for a renovation anymore. This is what the floor looks like at the reception of the restaurant, which was opened in 1924. Most likely when the floor was wearing out, a new one was put in its place. It was wearing out, and a new one was put in its place.
And again, and again, and again.
This feeling when the restaurant is in some way a tree. Have you heard of 50 Shades of Grey? We've got something better.
It is a drawing of a key.
No, not the key drawing, but 50 shades of 1 penny coin. Okay, actually there are 72, but you get the message. The terrible dream of a man with claustrophobia and a fear of relationships to put on a wedding ring and get stuck.
Oh, damn it.
If you wore it for 55 years, then you'd get something like this. How long have things like dice existed? They seem almost eternal, but you can use them actively for about 43 years. No, then the dice will come in handy too. For example, okay. Think of what they'll be used for. And this photo was taken in a public bathroom. I wonder how long it's going to take to finally change it. Yeah, it's a lamppost. Yeah, it's been wrapped so many times in posters it's become twice as wide. It honestly looks like it's made entirely out of posters. All that's left is to cut it down and see the annual rings. Have you noticed that cashiers often don't pick up the items but slide them directly through the counter to read the barcode? Well, because no one has the strength to lift things all the time, and also because over time you can get this cool scuff. Looking at this picture, you can draw two conclusions. First, even the strongest hammer wears down over time, and secondly, its owner is a pretty accurate guy. We've looked at the cash register surface, but what's down there? Yeah, scuffs too, and strictly where the buyer's feet are. Are they self-directed or something? It's believed that candy like M&Ms doesn't melt in the hands, or even in the sun. That's their thing. But even the strongest ones can't handle it if you put them in a jar and keep them there for over 10 years. So did you want something sweet now?
Okay.
This dog wore this badge for 13 years, and every day the badge hit a bowl of water and gradually deformed. Unfortunately, the pet is no longer alive. Its owner was left with a metal tag as a memory. But let's not be sad. Better look at the layers of paint that were removed from the wall. The first one dates back to 1984. Yes, some of our viewers hadn't even been born yet. Under the layers of paint, you can find drawings of the most important events like the launch of Facebook and the end of the Cold War. We agree. The artist's selection is peculiar. One pillowcase was used daily for 40 years, while the other was in the closet the whole time. Well, in the past, the Star Wars merchandise was definitely better. This screen has definitely seen a lot of Pac-Man. Most likely it was installed in the slot machine, which has been constantly on for many years. Remember the dog from the beginning of this video? They seem to know how to make their favorite places wherever they are. A car? It's easy. The owner's bedroom? Why not? Imagine how upset it would be if a closet appeared in that place. Most people find their passport photos bad. Well, the owner of this ID can tell them, hold my beer, because that's definitely the scariest thing you've ever seen in your life. Seriously. Usually, the tracks disappear pretty quickly, unless, of course, you've gone through fresh concrete or if you follow the same route in Ireland regularly. So regularly that even the ground is tired of fighting you. You understand that the cafe is really good when you see these tracks near the counter. Here's a surprise life hack. Pay attention to the floor. If there are such traces, the restaurant is clearly good. The corner next to the bike shop, which is perfectly erased because of all the pedals. Of course, there are skeptics on the internet who claim that it's just a coincidence. Well, back off. People who use a touchpad instead of a mouse realize how fast they're erasing. By the way, if you have the same, it's time to give us a like of solidarity. This is what happens to plastic shopping baskets that nobody uses. Do you also feel the desire to arrange them so as to make the perfect gradient? If you do something every day, it'll definitely leave a mark. 70-year-old Tibetan monk Hua Chi claims that he has been praying in the same place for 20 years. And we believe him. Why? He made a notch in the floor. By the way, the photo was taken in 2009. If Hua Chi is still alive, he must have already dug a hole in the planks. The bell on the door can be found everywhere, from pubs to shops. But how many years does it have to hang in one place to make this? And the second question is, what the hell is this bell made of? Adamantium? This is what happens to a coffee cup after only a year of stirring sugar. It's pretty beautiful, by the way, but don't show this cup to Professor Trelawney. You know how this is going to end.
Give me the cup.
At first, we thought there was just a shadow from the table on the photo. But no, it's just that the dark part of the floor was covered with carpet for years. The sun did the rest. Construction of the Tower of Pisa was completed in 1372. Every year, it's visited by so many tourists that they've literally rubbed their feet through the steps. And the steps are made of marble. By the way, there are 296 of them, or 294. Why is there such a difference? Well, try not to get confused when you count them. Some people are very persistent, even if their shaving brush has turned into this in 30 years. Both bundles have the same amount of money. Do you feel the difference? The wind is capable of doing really weird things. We'd understand if it was blowing on the fence with such force that it broke it, but it drew perfect circles. If you ever think that tap water has become something of a nasty taste, remember this photo. 15 years of rust, folks. And here's what happens to the furniture because of years of domino playing. Stylish. When you look at solid old chains, you can't believe they could ever be damaged. But in the face of time, everyone is equal. Remember that riddle from The Hobbit that Gollum asked Bilbo?
All things it devours, bites, steals, grinds hard stones to meal.
The answer is time.
So now you realize that time will really devour everything. Oh, here's one of our favorite pictures. One side of this doorknob eventually flattened out because it was constantly beating against the wall. Okay, so the wall makes 1 point. This wall in Toronto has so many posters that over time they didn't need the wall anymore. Come on, posters, we're leaving. People in this diner have been putting cups in the same place for years. Traditions, you know. Thousands of years in a row, pilgrims dragged themselves on their knees along the same route in one of the Italian temples. And they did ski track? Interesting effect. In fact, the situation when the pole is completely covered with ads and posters is not so rare. Here's another example from Berlin. And this effect is obtained when you smoke indoors all the time, then remove the paintings from the walls. Well, the photo can be printed on cigarette packs. Only 2 years of gaming and chat have done this to a keyboard. Admit it, who has the same? Water can do strange things to rocks, and look at the solid grout between these bricks. Here's an illustration of what happens if you put off buying a cat scratching post for 10 years. Still think you can do without it? In about 70 years, this tree literally absorbed a forgotten child's bite. Can you imagine how long it took for that to happen? And these trees began to grow at an angle because of the constant airflow from the exhaust vents. And this is the first time we've ever seen this. This guy literally played the guitar through. That's what the favorite guitar means. How hard can shoes wear out? So much that the owner's footprint can be seen on them. For years, thousands of people have been looking for themselves on the map. Yeah, that's the "you're here" sign. Don't ask why everybody points their fingers at it. Why change the tires if they're intact? Oh, that's why. That's what 7 years of use and 9,500 kilometers looks like. Can you feel it? The sun doesn't spare anyone. Even a Coke can after 2 years in the open air doesn't look as bright as it used to be. Well, we have questions for this picture. The soap from the dispenser dripped on the sink so often that it wore out. But what the hell is it made of? That's it, friends. Be sure to write down what surprised you the most. What do you think of those traces of people on the subway? Probably the most unusual thing in the whole video. What do you think? Don't forget to like the video if you enjoyed it, and we'll see you soon.